Hey guys, welcome to Wrestling Days and welcome to this WWE Raw review for the 22nd of October 2018. Now, I don't normally do Raw reviews, but honestly right now I just can't sleep. This was such an emotional, historic episode of Raw. This is one that, even though you might not revisit it, we will talk about for years to come. It obviously provided some of the most shocking moments in recent wrestling history, and yeah, it's tough to get your head around it. It's tough to know where to start. It's tough to process it all, and honestly I just can't even sleep right now, so it makes sense for me to do this video instead. So really, we start with Roman. The show started with Roman, and I can't believe this news didn't leak. I honestly don't know if this was the right way to announce this. It was out of nowhere, and I really feel for like the young Roman Reigns fans out there, because this is hard news to digest, and I'm not sure if maybe a tweet just kind of pre-warning people. You know, Roman's going to be out for a while. He's got, you know, a bad illness. More details will follow on Raw. The championship's going to be forfeited. I know it wouldn't have the same impact, but I'm not sure you're going for impact with this. I don't know if they did right or wrong. I still can't say. But yeah, it just came out of nowhere. It was a real, it was sickening. It really was. It was sickening. And I didn't know the response online. I was live streaming at the time, so I didn't know what Twitter was saying. I didn't know what the reaction was. I knew that Roman Reigns would be trending. And obviously it's not about that. It's about the fact that he's got a family, and the fact that he's going to be out of wrestling for a while. Treatment for leukemia can take weeks, months, years. It's, you know, there was people on the live stream that were saying that you know, people they know have passed away from leukemia. So it's really tough. It's really tough. Like, the severity of it, I don't think anyone knows. I mean, Roman has obviously been fighting this. He was first diagnosed, he said, 11 years ago. He's kept it very quiet, and yeah, I mean, nothing but love. I mean, there has been such an outpouring of love and support for Roman, which is fantastic. It's exactly what you'd want to see. I think pretty much every superstar has tweeted a message. Tommaso Ciampa has tweeted a message of support, and you know, and it comes down to things like this. It's not about characters, it's not about gimmicks, it's not about anything other than Roman Reigns. And yeah, really hard to digest. If you're feeling that way, just know that you're not alone. There's a lot of people that are really kind of struggling to wrap their heads around this. And that's why I was saying I don't know if WWE did it the right way, whether we should have been pre-warned a little bit. The whole thing was done really well. It's from the heart. As soon as he said, my name's Joe, and I you know, have got leukemia, it was like, part of me was like, see, if this is like a storyline, only for a second, my head was like, where's this going? I don't understand. And yeah, crazy that this is where we are. So Roman walks away to get treatment, and as we said, we don't know when he returns. That could be the last time you see Roman in a wrestling ring. That could be the last time that we saw the Shield together. Yeah, hard. Very, very hard. There's a video as well online that shows you when Roman walked back into the back area. That's a tough watch. That's a tough watch. All the superstars coming up, hugging him, and you know, you can hear a few things they're whispering to him, and you know, he seems to leave pretty much straight away. I think he does his opening bit and goes, which is why maybe he was the opener Again, I was questioning, would it not have been better to have delivered this news at the end? Obviously, I didn't know that we were going to get the heel turn, and certainly by looking at that video, it looks like Roman made the announcement and then left. Roman didn't stick around. So, not much more to say. A really difficult situation, and nothing but love and respect to Roman Reigns, and I'm so pleased that when he walked back up that ramp, he was just getting absolutely buried under a sea of thank you Roman chants, and a lot of support, and you could see that it meant a lot. So obviously the Universal Championship has been vacated now, and the announcement was made that Braun against Brock at Crown Jewel, that will now be a Universal Championship match. And I personally wouldn't have done that. Maybe the World Cup would have been a better way to have crowned a new champion. I understand that Brock and Braun were in a championship match. Roman is no longer in that match. The match stays a championship match. I do understand that. I just don't think it's the most exciting option, because no one is expecting Brock to stay. And even if they swerve us and Brock becomes champion, it's not that exciting. We've just had a long Brock title reign. It really feels like it can't be Brock, and I think most people are expecting it to be Braun. And I would love for there to be a swerve. Maybe the swerve is Drew McIntyre gets added to the match, and then, you know, we could have a Drew McIntyre Universal Championship run with Braun chasing, or maybe Braun becomes champion with Drew chasing. I did see someone online, I forget who, but they said it might be a good idea if there's like a no finish, and so then it goes to Survivor Series, and then we decide there. I really would look at some other options. I think a straight one-on-one singles match for the vacated championship just isn't the most exciting option. Not that it's that important right now, but still, whilst I'm thinking of these things, I'm going to tell you what's on my mind. So, talking to Braun as well, looks like his face again, which is fantastic. Was not a fan of that heel turn. I don't think it worked. It was kind of like just thrown together so the Shield had an opponent, and so I'm really pleased to see that his face. Loved that moment when Drew McIntyre came running down and attacked Braun, delivering a Claymore. Absolutely brilliant. Obviously Braun kind of repaying that later in the show. So yeah, love the fact that Braun is face. We know what's happening with the Universal Championship. I think a big question out of tonight is, was tonight the right time for Dean to turn heel? Such a good moment. Didn't see it coming. Don't think anyone did. Not after what happened earlier. That is the best time to do a heel turn. It is the best time. And I'm gonna go on record as saying I think this was the right time. Now I've had time to think about it, I think this was the right time. Surely they got Roman's blessing. Surely, Roman was aware of the situation. Maybe that's why Roman left, because people would have asked questions like, how come Roman didn't, appear on the ramp and try and, play peacekeeper or something like that? I don't know. But, yeah, it looks like Roman left. Roman obviously would have been aware. And I do think it was the right time. I do think it was the right time because people were deflated. People need something to kind of... something else to talk about, if you will. And not only that, I just think it was out of the blue. The best heel turns come when you don't expect them, and no one expected it tonight. So yeah, I mean, apparently it looks like the plan was for Dean to turn heel eventually. Don't know if they've had to bring it forward, rush it forward. Don't know what it means for the tag team championships, because there's no way Dean and Seth can tag together. So what does that mean? So there's a big question mark over the Raw tag team championships now. Is it going to be a case they have to be vacated as well? So it's going to be very interesting on that front to see where we go. Now, it was funny because earlier in the live stream I was saying that I think there needs to be a big heel. I'm not sure that I was really thinking about Dean. I was kind of saying I think Lars Sullivan should come up from NXT, because now that Braun has gone face, there's just not that monster there. I mean, you've got Drew McIntyre, but he's very tall, but I don't know if he's what you would call a monster. I feel like Lars Sullivan is. I feel like Lars Sullivan could be brought up and could be a real interesting addition to that main roster. So I personally would bring Lars Sullivan up from NXT. And I think you've got quite interesting combinations now. I mean, with Dean turning heel, obviously Braun turning face, Elias turned face. I know that's not like a main event kind of a thing, but still noteworthy. Love how he did it, came back and hit Baron Corbin with the guitar. Such a good moment, because it looked like it wasn't going to happen because Elias walked away, but he came back and attacked Corbin, and that's surely a face turn for Elias. People like the whole walk with Elias thing, so it's going to be really interesting to see how he performs as like a face character. So quite interested in that. Well, I suppose we better go through the results, because we could stand here all night just talking about Roman. But Finn Balor against Bobby Lashley, that was a real shame. I'm not sure too many people were paying it attention. So I can see that Bleacher Report have given that a C grade. But again, I'm not sure how invested people actually were. Decent win though, big win for Finn Balor there. Sasha Banks against Ruby Riott was the next match. Another win for Ruby Riott, who seems to be finding ways of picking up victories. So that's a good result. Obviously, we're building towards Evolution, which really was, kind of forgotten about largely. I know they were still promoting it, talking about it, and there were matches on this Raw that were there to, put the final pieces in place, but nothing could follow that Roman announcement for a good hour or so, in my opinion. In fact, it wasn't until Paul Heyman came out that I think things started to settle down again. The next segment that we've got is DX, and I thought this was quite a bad segment. I was trying to follow it. It looked like Sean was upset at the Roman news, if I'm being honest. I did like the Undertaker and Kane in the graveyard promo. I thought it was interesting, thought it was different. We don't see talent in other locations that often. So I was really into that. But I just wasn't into what Triple H was saying. A large part of the promo from DX, I wasn't into it. After that, we got Paul Heyman, and I think this worked because Paul Heyman addressed the elephant in the room. I don't know why it took this long, but Paul Heyman was talking about what makes a champion, and was talking about the fact that Roman has those attributes, and Roman was the right person, and all that kind of stuff. We had to get to Paul Heyman before someone actually spoke about that. Like, Triple H should have spoke about that. But Paul Heyman did it, and for me, things started to kind of settle down, and we started to move into a Raw then. I could concentrate on it a little bit better. And in fact, Bleacher Report give Paul's promo there an A rating. Apollo Crews against Elias was okay. Elias getting a good victory there. Then we got Elias and Baron Corbin and the face turn, which was a really good moment. Ronda Rousey, Nikki Bella, the contract signing, I thought this was okay. Loved the fact that Ronda said, look, I'm not going to attack you, you've got my word, which then kind of meant that the Bellas could do whatever they wanted, and they did, making comments about Ronda's mom, and then slapping Ronda, and Ronda just couldn't kind of retaliate because she'd given her word. That's how it works when you're a face. Yes, she was like, I'm going to destroy you, and I give you my word on that. Yeah, it was good. I mean, obviously nowhere near the levels of last week, but still good. We then got a pretty pointless fatal four-way. This was Nia Jax, Dana Brooke, Tamina, and Ember Moon. Ember Moon with the victory. Bit of a nothing match. It was over fairly quickly. And then we got the main event, and we all know what happened in that main event. It was for the tag team titles, and the Shield won. Great that they came down making that Shield entrance. Absolutely loved that. Yeah, it really felt like Roman was missing during that entrance. But yeah, good match. And obviously Dean and Seth won. And then Dean turned after. Now the Dean turn has been teased for a while. No word as to why he did it. It's going to be really interesting to find out why. I'm sure he was saying to Seth, you know why. But it can't be because, like, there's been misunderstandings. It can't be because he referred to him as a lunatic time from last week. So I don't know if there's going to be more to it. I am looking forward to hearing what Dean has got to say. Obviously, we've got Evolution this weekend. We are building towards Crown Jewel. No idea what's going to happen with those tag team championships. But above all of that, thank you, Roman Reigns. I honestly send all my love and support. And I'm sure you guys do as well. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed this recap and me sharing my thoughts about this week's Raw. I would love to know your opinions in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like, hit the subscribe, and hopefully see you again next time. Bye for now.